Hello, football fans. Bienvenidos. This is La Nation's Golazo today, and this is our last edition of 2024. I am your host, Francisco X Rivera. So glad that you can join us, and I'm so glad to be joined by the whole crew today. We have the whole gang. We have Julio El Chiva Mayor. We have Marcelino Ortiz. We have Nik Z. So this is going to be a very cool discussion. We're going to get started. We have no time to waste, and I came dressed to the nines today because I'm so excited. I'm happy. I know Marcelino will not have much fun in this show, at least talking about Club America. But we have to talk about the champions of 2024. Chiva, who catches your eye? If we are talking about an end-of-the-year show, who's your champion for this year?
I mean, I don't want to say nothing. Obviously, LAFC, right? They won the U.S. Open Cup, even though, let's be fair, even though there was not all the MLS teams participating in this Open Cup, it was a very different Open Cup. But at the end of the day, it's some silverware that we already have on our stadium. And happy to see my LAFC win another championship.
Is that a consolation prize? Because they've lost Champions League. They've lost so many finals in the last few years. Do you feel like this actually makes up for it a little bit?
It doesn't make up, but it definitely makes it feel better for sure.
Well, Marcelino, I know you're not very excited to see me wearing this. I know you
rather
have me wear a Pumas jersey like your team, but Club America, this is a team you're very adamant.
Yeah.
You know, when we talk about America and their shortcomings in the regular season, they didn't really have a home stadium with the Estadio Azteca being renovated for the upcoming World Cup. But you believed in America, which I'm surprised about. Pumas and America's this fierce rivalry, but still, as a soccer fan, as a connoisseur of the game, you believed in what America could do.
It was clear that America had a solid team. The coach had been putting a lot of work into this this season, and even though at the middle of the season, America was trying to figure out what was the best lineup, what was the best way to front these teams, it was clear from the get-go that America had a superior squad, and they proved it. And unfortunately, to my disgrace, campeón America, America.
Well, the first final that I saw as a kid was the 1990-91 season when Pumas beat America, which was one of the best America teams. I mean, you're talking about a team that won 6 titles in the 80s. They won the three-peat. Now they're winning another three-peat, the first in this short tournament format. Do you believe this is the best America we've seen in history?
I think so. Also because right now I think that Liga MX is so much more competitive than it was back in the day. At the time, the difference of money that America was spending compared to other teams was astronomically different. Now the competition is closer together. So I think that is really an achievement from America to win 3 in a row.
And Nik Z, I know, contrary to Marcelino, you're ecstatic about your LA Galaxy winning title. First of all, congratulations, my friend. I mean, this is a team that throughout so many years held up the name of LA. I think beginning of the 2010s, LA Kings, LA Galaxy, winning some titles. They're finally back into the mix. In your opinion, what does this mean to the Galaxy and to MLS and the rivalry?
Okay, I'll start with Galaxy. I mean, obviously, this is huge because it has been a decade. We're talking about a decade-long drought. Talking about soccer, not my dating life here. After 10 years, we've literally, and you and I were just talking about this before the show. It's like we've watched this team rebuild itself from the ground up, right? In a league where we're seeing success becoming synonymous with big names, right? Or a few big names if we're talking about Inter Miami. But this team, without the big names, has rebuilt itself. The Zlatans, they came and went. The Beckhams, they came and went, right? The Chicharitos came and went. But here we are now with a squad that doesn't have that celebrity status, and they're kicking butt, and it feels good to see.
Well, does your dating life improve when you say you're a fan of the LA Galaxy?
Probably not. No, I don't know where that question was going, but I'll just jump in and say probably not, no matter what you're asking.
All right, well, you did give me a segue talking Inter Miami. And Chiva, Inter Miami won the Supporter Shield. Yes, I mean, you held that trophy before physically when LAFC won it back in 2018 and 19. I did it myself, heavy trophy, but does this mean much to what Inter Miami wanted to do?
I mean, honestly, it doesn't. Obviously, the Supporter Shield, it means a lot because it comes from the team that gives the most points in the league. But at the end of the day, they have Messi. I think that everybody thought that Miami was going to bring everything, Leagues Cup, MLS Cup, and not just the Supporter Shield. I think the Supporter Shield for them, with the team they have, it's not a lot.
It was expected.
It was expected for them to win everything, but they did not. And I think that they struggle a lot. I called it here in my picks. And I want to brag a little bit more. I also said that it was going to be an LA versus New York final. Unfortunately for me, it was LA Galaxy.
Wrong LA.
He was more of a Carson jersey.
I say Los Angeles versus New York City.
Yeah, he's going to start with the Carson versus Jersey final. East Rutherford versus, but anyway, so Inter Miami does not succeed in that. In your opinion, guys, where does this leave the project, the Messi 2.0 project in Major League Soccer?
To Nick's point, when you put together a team with young players like Peck and with proven MLS journeymen like Jovelik and some other in the backline that were proven talent, and a coach that is proud of the crest, and an executive like Will Kuntz that comes and bring together. I was just reading that he was pushing for LAFC to bring Peck, and they passed on him.
Well, they passed on Will.
They passed on Will. Yeah.
But look, Miami still got time to learn and grow from all of this, right? They don't have the kind of experience and the kind of growing pains that other squads like the Galaxy or others have had. So they'll take this with them, and this is a great start, and this is a great base to jump off from.
Right. So
My concern is that Miami might be becoming Messi's clubhouse. The appointment of Mascherano makes sense because he's played with a lot of, he's trained a lot of these players in the sub-20 national Argentinian team, and he's a coach that has a lot of projection in the youth level, but the MLS is not the type of place anymore where you can come and experiment. Even well-established coaches have come here and faced that this league is no joke.
Well, Mascherano played for Barcelona.
Yep.
Same with Messi and some of his teammates like Luis Suarez, Jordi Alba, Busquets, etc. But let's talk about Real Madrid. Let's talk about the arch rival of Barcelona. What a game by Pachuca, by the way. Winningest coach in the history of the Merengues with 15 titles.
Man, that game, Pachuca Real Madrid, I'm telling you, it was 3-0, but the game itself showed a strong Pachuca. I think the first 35, 36 minutes, Pachuca was dominating the game. I don't know if Real Madrid was just kicking back, but at the end of the day, they did really good. I think they represented Mexico pretty well. I mean, for them to only lose 3-0 versus Real Madrid is not that easy.
And winning against Botafogo and Il Ahad, I think that it shows that Pachuca, as is done many times in the past in the international level, for me, is the best representative of Mexican soccer at the club level in the international scene. They've done amazing performance in every international play.
Yeah, and you touched on something really important there. Pachuca just getting to that point in the beginning, the kind of hurdles they had to jump to just to face Madrid in the first place was absolutely amazing. And they played great, as you said in the beginning. After Mbappe scored, Real Madrid didn't look back, and they were kind of unable to answer back, but they were looking really strong. And I actually had high hopes for them coming into the match against Madrid.
Yeah. And now that we're talking in this 2024 Champions edition of the show, I mean, we're all champions in life. We've already done whatever we have to do. We're champions of Latin nations, Golazo today. I want to send a shout out to my pops, to my dad, because it was a little sad that so many Necaxa players went to America. And I was going through them, and it was 5 players: Sendejas, Lichnowsky, Rodrigo Aguirre, Chicote Calderon, Victor Davila. So Necaxa keeps on sending players away, and they keep winning titles in other teams. However, Pops, here's a consolation prize for you. Necaxa remains the only team that has beat Real Madrid in these type of tournaments, right? And it was that penalty series was so exciting.
And Pumas.
Yeah.
No, but Necaxa beat him at
At the tournament.
World Cup.
Tournament. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That was a bigger one. But
And you had, where's the Pumas jersey?
you know what? We exchanged it because I just wanted to balance the black and gold with there. So I brought this brand new Nicaraguan jersey, which I find pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah, right?
That's a beautiful.
That's a lot if he's willing to exchange it for the.
I'm a big fan of the Nicaraguan team led by Fantasma Figueroa. I think that what he's doing with a very modest team and a very modest development system, I think is great. So I have their jerseys, and also my wife is from Nicaragua, so
It has a little bit to do with it.
Nick frowned a little bit because I know España played Serbia in the Euros as well, and you were expecting your boys to come up.
Expecting is an overstatement. I was hoping, I think.
Oh yeah.
A lot of wishful thinking, but as a Serbia fan, you get used to just holding on to hope for no reason.
Welcome to the club.
All righty, so this wraps up our Champions Edition here in 224, the Latin Nations Golazo today. But stay tuned, because when we come back, we're going to have more about some key injuries. What's happening with this ACL plague that is being suffered in Europe with Real Madrid and so many other teams. So stay tuned. This is Latin Nations Golazo today.
How do you find some of this great talent that you've brought in, who are still early in their career, might not have a ton of tape on them yet?
I've been around this business, man, for almost 20 years. So a lot of these guys will tell you that I popped into a lot of gyms, sparred, or just worked on the side, or kind of worked out, just watching. I've always loved this sport, man. I think it's the greatest, and we want to continue to put on the next up-and-coming superstars. We know we got them.
Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this, I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text. Put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, hey, I never got the text. And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. What he texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe, like it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
It's a new era in CFP to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards.
That was
thinking!
But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Estamos de regreso. This is the last edition in 2024 of a great show, Latin Nations Golazo today. I'm your host, Francisco X Rivera, joined by the whole squad here, Julio Chiva Mayor, Marcelino Ortiz, Nik Z. We wanted to bring the all-star team. I was going to say we could do like an indoor soccer team perhaps. Yeah. I know Chiva just invited me to what is it, like a U50?
Yes, U50, yeah, the youngsters.
Okay. I think I could qualify for that. I'm ready to go.
I think Marcelino's ready too.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Nick,
You want?
No.
You want? No, you're beyond.
I'll be the talent guy.
U20s.
U20? Exactly. But, so glad to be sharing this with you guys. It's been a great first season here on Latin Nation SportsGrid, sharing some analysis, some fun, some controversy as well. And what's bringing a lot of controversy recently is the state of the EPL, particularly. Yeah. I think a lot of what's been happening in European football runs around England. What Spain and Italy and Germany used to be, I know England is now the center of the world. Manchester City against Manchester United. Chiva and I were talking about off the air. What a game, my friend. What are your thoughts and what do you think the future holds for Guardiola and the citizens?
I mean, after watching the Manchester City-Manchester United game, I told my son on the 82nd minute, you think Manchester City is going to pull it off and they're finally going to win a game? Because, of course, there's only 8 minutes left. I'm like, no, man, they don't want Pep in the team anymore. And boom, Manchester United won it 2-1. Nobody can believe this, only if you watch the game. But it's crazy. I don't know what's going on. I honestly think that they don't want Pep Guardiola no longer. The players don't want him. Le hacen la camita, como decirles al español.
You read my mind. I went, they're making their bet for Guardiola after so much success. It's clear to me that the connection between the coach and the players has been lost. What do you think, Nick?
8 losses in the last 11 games. I mean, that's hard to wrap your head around for any coach, let alone Pep. But look, in my lifetime, I'll go on camera saying it, perhaps one of the greatest football minds as a coach that I've seen at least. And if there's one person who can turn it around, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate, defend the man here. I think it's going to be him, and I wouldn't be surprised if they turn things around here under Pep, but that's if he stays around.
Well, let's turn the ship, first of all. So if we go from City to United,
yes,
this is a team, then again, that was coached for so many years. After Sir Alex Ferguson coached Scotland in Mexico in 1986, he went to a team that needed a boost. Yep. He gave him quite a boost. His farewell season back in 2013 meant the last title in the Premiership for Manchester United. Since then, 10 coaches between interims, full-time coaches, and caretakers. They haven't won anything really. That we've seen so many different, Ten Hag and Ragnock, as caretaker. Even Ryan Giggs having a short stint as caretaker with Manchester United. But now Ruben Amorim, do you think he can be the guy that can turn the ship around?
I am convinced that the Ruben Amorim era is going to be the one that brings Manchester United to the luster that they belong to. The most telling sign that was the right project is the fact that he decided to sit two players that for the last 3 seasons were completely untouchable, regardless of their level of play, which is Garnacho and Rashford. And the fact that you see this coach coming in and saying, no, everyone in this team is going to have to earn their spot in the starting 11 by their daily work, their attitudes, how they wear the uniform, what they eat at the clubhouse, how they greet workers at the at the clubhouse. So I feel like these are the differences that make these institutions what they are, is the culture within the club, is the love of the crest, and how you conduct yourself as a player of these institutions, always chasing excellence. So I feel like in the field, we are yet to see the results of the product, and that's a high quest for Amorim. But we do see that the foundations of what he's doing in Manchester United is going to pay off, because the players are going to, unlike Manchester City, are going to start growing on their pride and their trust of the coach, versus a team that is maybe not so sure of what their coach is trying to put together.
Yeah, I think Nick brought up a great point when he talked about the LA Galaxy. And again, this is a team that dominated the 2010s in Major League Soccer. So around the same time that Manchester United won their last title, 2013 versus 2015. In your opinion, is this a resemblance? Probably if we compare what Galaxy has done to go back, what do you think Manchester United would have to do to come back to this elite level that they're used to?
Look, I think this might just be sort of to get away from the Galaxy analogy, because as I mentioned in the beginning, that was a 10-year long drought, let's say, right? A dry spell. I don't think we're going to see the kind of same situation with either Manchester team. Look, first of all, both teams are struggling a lot with injury, and that's obviously going to affect them very negatively too. And so that's a big part of it as well. If we want to zoom out and make this into a much bigger picture, we could make a much bigger problem, we could, but I just don't see it playing out in the same way. I think this might be just a bit of turbulence on the flight.
But now let's go back to injuries in Manchester City. This ACL plague that's going around some of the top clubs in Europe, Rodri, Ter Stegen, Eder Militao, what do you think?
I mean, too many games, man. The intensity of the games, the fact that the players don't have vacations anymore. You know, so many tournaments that we want to see as fans, and not too much time for them to rest. And I know that they get paid well, but come on, they also need some rest. We've seen Real Madrid, 16 injuries in this season. It's crazy, it's insane. And you go to any league with Chivas de Guadalajara, they have like 12 injuries on the season. So it's been. I think that they have to take in consideration the calendars, because it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Marcelino, I talked to a former NFL player, a good friend of mine, who told me that sometimes coaches, when things are not going well and when they need results, they're going to say, okay, you know what? I extended our training session from 1 hour to 2 hours, because they need to show ownership that on executives that they're trying to bring some results in. Sometimes not the best formula for the players, because that ends up in an overload, not only from that heavy calendar, but also from this heavy duty during training. What is your take?
Some stats for you guys to have context is the amount of miles per game has not shifted a lot in the last 20 years. It's about the same, but the intensity of that, now we're expecting these top players to run 36 miles per hour consistently, 10, 20 sprints per game. These joints can only hold so much, right? We're looking at calendars that include 80 games. Some of these players like Rodri, they are, best player in the world, Ballon d'Or, quintessential to their team operation, but also that means that he needs to play 3 times a week sometimes. He has to go in a month playing 12 times. That's about, just in broad strokes, if they run in between 8 and 10 miles per game, we're looking at 50 miles a week plus training of high intensity work. I challenge any marathon runner to match those miles at that speed, that intensity, with lateral movements of the knee, changing the speed. I think that it's a moment that we have to reckon with. Like you said, it's great to have international football in the summer and having more and more tournaments to watch our favorite players, but also we have to give them a break.
Great points, guys. So stay tuned, football fans. We're going to come back with more in our last edition of the first season of Latin Nations Golazo today.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're gonna go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's gonna help me get the job done. There is not gonna be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We are back. Estamos de regreso. This is the last edition of 2024 here in Nat Nation's Golazo today. Nik Z, take us through the top teams in Europe as we head to the end of the year.
Yeah, I'll list them off and we can jump right into it. We're going to start with the EPL. In the Premier League, we got Liverpool and Chelsea. Those two squads taking the top spot. Over in Spain, La Liga, Barça, Atletico Madrid, neck and neck for first place with Real Madrid not too far behind. Over to Germany in the Bundesliga, we got Bayern München and Leverkusen in the top two spots. Serie A in Italy, Atalanta, Napoli, and Inter Milan all in the top three. Also very close there. In France, we got PSG, Paris taking the top spot, Marseille and Monaco not too far behind. So any results there that I just said that really are speaking to you guys or stand out? Anything surprising to you guys?
Atalanta being in first place in Italy, I think that's surprising, but not too surprising, right? Because in the Champions League, they just lost their first game versus Real Madrid, which was a very intense game, 2-3 if I'm not mistaken, and they did really good. So that surprised me a little bit that they're in the top.
Atalanta takes me back to the time when Miguel Ayun, who also wore these colors, became the first Mexican to play in Serie A. And honorary mention to Aston Villa. I mean, the Villains were so lost a few years ago. They ended up being relegated. They produced great players like Jack Grealish, for example, who's now killing it with Manchester City. But once again, the Villains, congrats to what they've been doing, not only locally, but also in the new format of the Champions League. And talking about Champions League teams and great caliber squads, let's talk about our extended fire picks, where Marcelino says that what's your percent so far?
I think right now I'm like about 67%.
That's way too high, man.
I don't know. I've been pretty accurate.
Alex, do you have some numbers? I mean,
Alex has to do his homework before the end of the year to do the tally. We'll present, and hopefully we'll have like a cool ticker or something.
Maybe the trophy for the win.
Well, maybe we'll have to put some sort of like polla ahí para que that's a party for the 2025 holiday party. We'll have like a big pot with our earnings.
Exactly. Well, let's talk about the success that Atletico de Madrid and FC Barcelona are going through this year. What a game. Chiva, what are your thoughts on this game?
It's gonna be intense, man. We know Atletico, they want to win a Liga. As we know, it's Barcelona, Real Madrid, Barcelona. So I think it's time for another team to win it. And I think if one team can do that, it's Atletico de Madrid, definitely.
I think Griezmann is gonna want to say goodbye to Atletico de Madrid with silverware. I feel like also, the connection between Cholo Simeone and the Atletico de Madrid fans is really strong right now. I think that just achieving 800 games with one team as a coach is a massive milestone, and there doesn't seem to be a end to the fairy tale between these two. So I see that, you know, Atletico Madrid might get the edge on this one.
And let's not forget the fans, because when you go to the stadium, I think they have the greatest atmosphere in Spain with Rayo Vallecano and Atletico Madrid. So let's not forget about the fans that they changed a lot of games, you know?
And let's not forget about Real Madrid. They're going to be playing Sevilla. What are your thoughts?
I mean, Real Madrid is Real Madrid, papi. Even on their worst season, you know, everybody's saying that they're doing bad.
Like America.
Like America, yeah. To be fair,
Oh my.
you know, champions.
Master tying it back. So
He's just waiting for it, but it's okay. Hey, tricampeón, what can I say, right?
We're going to give it to them.
Real Madrid is doing really good. Mbappe is taking a little bit longer to kind of adapt to the team, but man, the minute that they connect together, Mbappe, Vini, and now Rodrigo finally being back on the 11, you know, it's going to be tough for Barcelona and Atletico de Madrid.
Now, Nick, you brought up some great stats about the bad streak that Manchester City is going through.
Yeah.
Switching to the EPL, do you think Manchester City has what it takes to face a team like Aston Villa that has been informed? Could this be the time and the moment when they're out of that big hole they dug?
If Aston Villa's had a time to capitalize on City, it's going to be right now, obviously. But at the same time, again, we can go back to what we were talking about with Pep. It's like he's hungry, obviously. The team, well, that's a different dynamic, right? That you guys argued that maybe they don't want it as bad for tactical reasons, for coaching reasons, for things that go on behind the scenes. But look, I would honestly give it to City in this situation anyways. They're hungry. They need it. They want it. And I think now's their one and only shot to really redeem themselves, at least for the immediate future.
Alrighty. So let's wrap it up in London, actually. Tottenham Hotspur, a team that's always, you know, just like Atletico de Madrid, just like pushing, trying to get to the top. They'll be facing the almighty Liverpool. What do you think about this game?
I mean, Liverpool is unstoppable, man. I mean, I wish Tottenham can win this game, but honestly, I don't see how. Liverpool's just in first place in the league, first place in the Champions League. I mean, what else can I say? Mohamed Salah is going to score like 2 goals in them.
Jokes aside, I feel like, you know, Liverpool is the best team in the world right now. Whatever tournament, whatever game, Liverpool is the favorite.
I would agree.
Alrighty. So that was an easy one.
Yeah.
I'm going for the Reds. So guys, Julio El Chiva Mayor, Marcelino Ortiz, Nik Z, this wraps up our last edition in 2024 of Latin Nations Golazo today. What a great season. It's been a pleasure sharing this great football moments with you on SportsGrid and Latin Nation. So on behalf of our great production team, we want to thank you. We want to wish you the best. Happy holidays. Feliz Navidad. Prospero Año Nuevo. And we'll see you in 2025. Until next time.
Hey, welcome to week 16 of Beat the Odds and happy holidays, everybody. So, are you on Santa's nice or naughty list? Jack and Mariah, naughty. Me and Teddy, nice. That's right. Keep watching this show or you're going to be on the naughty list too. Beat the Odds starts right now.
From our Las Vegas studios, this is Beat the Odds, sponsored by Superbook at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino, and powered by SportsGrid.
And here we go. Welcome inside our Las Vegas studio. I'm Dave Hall.
And I'm Mariah Janos. For the record, being on the naughty list, always more fun, more stories to tell, you know. So I think you're just a little bit jealous. Jonathan Taylor is also on the naughty list too. Stop dropping the ball before crossing the goal line. It's really that simple.
And it happened twice last week.
Yep.
Joining Teddy on the nice list, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, the old guys. Looked awesome last week, just like we look awesome with the crushed velvet.
Yeah,
way to go,
we're
Mariah.
rolling today.
All right, coming up on today's show, Teddy will talk about all the quarterback injuries and what it means for the betting lines. Jack is on a fact-finding mission. That's a first. Plus our player prop showdown and best bets.
And I'm chatting with Brandon Marshall about one team in the NFC North that has been hit with the injury bug at the worst possible time. And if they can overcome it, our friends from SportsGrid are back too.
Hey Vegas, we're excited to beat the odds with you guys once again. Coming up, Joe Lisi and I will look at an awesome turning back of the clock from New York, and specifically Devontae Adams, and an old school predictable letdown from Miami, and Tua and what it means moving forward. So sit back and we'll join you guys in just a bit. It's back out to the crew in Vegas.
Okay, so we don't have the fat guy in a red coat, but we do have Fat Jack and Teddy in a sports coat.
Absolutely,
so that's going to have to do.
Excited for the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah, making a little bit of money, doing
Once
well.
again, on the naughty list, as usual.
You know what? That party's going to be kicking it. I'm telling you.